want to make sure everybody has a chance to leave if they wish. Oh, if they've all voted who wish. Okay. All right. Obviously, it's a historic day with respect to the signing of the nursing home reform legislation, and I think we should remember that. And we'd be glad to answer any other questions. No, that's not my plan. My number one plan, as you know, is to cut the budget. I've cut the budget $3 billion. That's more than any other governor in Illinois history has cut the budget. In this fiscal year alone, we have to cut it $1.4 billion. Altogether, since I became governor, it's $3 billion. Having said that, I've said that really from the time I made my first budget address, we do need revenue. This year, I made a budget address, and I said we needed a 1% surcharge for education. And I believe that today, and I believe that on November 2nd, and I'll believe that as long as I'm around. Let me finish. A 1% surcharge for education protects the most important thing state government does. We have a state constitution that says that citizens have a fundamental right to a decent education. I believe that whether it's preschool or grammar school or high school or special ed or community colleges, we have to make sure we have good education. What I support is a 1% surcharge for education, and that's it. I was disappointed that the legislature did not have the fortitude to vote on this. There are those out there, I know they'll be having press conferences in a minute or two, that say, oh no, we can't raise the income tax. Those are the people who want to raise your property taxes. I want to warn the people of Illinois before the November 2nd election that all of those candidates for governor who are running around saying that the income tax can't be raised for education, they want to slash education. They have a plan to slash education. My opponent, the senator from Bloomington, wants to cut education by 10%, over $1 billion. That's going to lay off thousands of teachers. It's going to have classrooms overcrowded in Illinois, and it's going to raise the property taxes of every family, of every business, of every farmer in Illinois. Now, I used to be the commissioner of property tax appeals in this county. I know firsthand how unfair property taxes are. They are not based on ability to pay. The bottom line is, under our state, if the state of Illinois doesn't properly fund education through a 1% surcharge for education, through the income tax, based on ability to pay, if we don't do that, local property taxes will go sky high. They're going to skyrocket. I'm a person who wants to hold down property taxes. If we want to have a growing economy, we cannot have politicians from Bloomington running around Illinois telling people before an election nothing is going to happen as far as tax reform when it comes to supporting education, but then after the election presiding over the biggest property tax increase in Illinois history.
Governor, so Mr. Vaught misspoke? Is that what you're saying? Or
he was misconstrued. He talked about my plan, and it is my plan, a 1% surcharge for education. I'll go to the voters and say to them in plain language that we must fund our schools in Illinois. If that plan, my plan, is not enacted, we will have somebody in Springfield, in the governor's office, who wants to severely cut education. And that will lead to a large amount of property tax increase for everybody who owns property in Illinois. I know firsthand what this is about. If the state doesn't properly fund schools, then local property taxes skyrocket. They're backbreaking already. So it's not right to, it seems to me, for the state of Illinois to fail to properly invest in education. I had the fortitude in March of this year to say that we needed to raise the income tax by 1%, a 1% surcharge, exclusively for education. What is the education we're talking about? Early childhood education, special education, education for kids in grammar school and high school, for those who are in community colleges. All of those are supported by property taxes. If we don't have the state properly funding schools in Illinois, local property taxes in every single county will go higher and higher. That's a levy that is not based on ability to pay. You pay it whether or not you have a profit or whether or not you have good income. I want to hold the line and reduce property taxes. There are those who don't. No. He made it, he said that the plan that the governor supports, and I'm the governor, is the 1% surcharge for education. That's the plan I support. There's no other plan. Let me just finish. I support that plan. I have consistently supported that plan. I've brought it to the legislature this year. I expect legislators to do their duty and to vote on this plan to support our schools. Otherwise, there will be severe cuts in education, including those who want to cut education by $1 billion. That will harm Illinois' economy, harm our jobs. There are other plans out there, but my plan, I think, is the plan that can get passed and support our schools the way they should be supported and hold the line on property taxes. There's a provision in our state constitution that says that the state has the legal constitutional duty to fund education.